First of all, thank you for following this presentation. Today, we will review the STAR report, a report by STR Global. STR Global is a community of 42,000 hotels worldwide, with over 3,200 participants in Asia Pacific, sharing performance information. Here are a few names of major players that participate with us. So, what is a STAR report? The STAR report allows hotels to share performance information. In other words, the STAR report allows me to compare my hotel performance versus my competitors' performance. What do we mean by performance? The STAR report looks at three, and only three performance indicators: occupancy, average daily rate, and RevPAR. We will review these indicators in a few moments. Format and delivery. The STAR report is an Excel document which is delivered daily, weekly, and monthly via email. So how does it work? Let's assume that this map represents my city or region. My hotel in this case is represented by the red house. First, the report allows me to compare my hotel performance versus the entire market for all hotels that participate in my city or region. But even more interesting, the report allows me to compare my performance versus my chosen competitors, here highlighted in blue. Competitors are chosen from our participation list, available for any country around the world. The list is sorted by city and by hotel class. Now, once my competitor is chosen, the report groups each competitor's performance to form a group of competitors called a competitive set. So, what is a competitive set? A competitive set is the average performance of a minimum of 4 competitors in my city or region. In other words, my hotel performance is compared versus my competitive set performance. This allows all of my competitors to keep their data on rates and occupancy confidential. Likewise, my competitors will never see my direct performance, as my hotel information will always be released as part of a group of hotels. Please remember, this process of comparing individual performance versus groups of hotels allow each participant to keep its data confidential. In short, the STAR report allows me to keep track of occupancy, rates, and RevPAR versus my market and my competitors. It is important to note that market comparison is totally free of charge, where selected competitors' comparison comes with a fee. Where is data coming from? Every day, my hotel, as well as my CompStat and 42,000 hotels, report 2 performance numbers online: number of rooms sold and room revenues. This online process only takes a few seconds. Once my data in the system, I receive my report on the same day. Before taking a look at the report, let's recap our 3 performance indicators. We remember that the report looks at occupancy, average daily rate, and RevPAR. A review of indicators. Occupancy is obtained by dividing my number of rooms sold by my number of rooms available. ADR is obtained by dividing my net room revenues by my total number of rooms sold. RevPAR is obtained by dividing my net room revenues by my total number of rooms available. Now let's take a look at the actual report. Remember, you will receive a daily, weekly, and monthly report. But in this presentation, we only focus on the monthly report, which has the largest content. In this section, we start with the tab called COMP for competitive set. This section analyzes my performance versus my chosen competitors. This is how the section will look like. But first, let's focus on the bottom of this section, and more precisely, on this column highlighted in red. By zooming further in, we start by actually reviewing the performance of my hotel for occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR. Let's take a closer look of what lies behind these numbers. In this example, we start by reviewing my hotel performance for the month of September. First, we review the performance of my hotel, here indicated as my property, followed by the performance of my competitive set, which results in an index performance and a ranking that indicates how I performed this month versus my competitive set. But let's go back to the indexes. Indexes are the key measure of my performance versus my competitive set. If my index for any of the indicator is greater than 100, then I overperform my competitive set. However, if my index for any of the key performance indicator is below 100, then I underperform my competitive set. In this example, I underperform my competitive set for occupancy, but overperform my competitive set for ADR and RevPAR. All of these indexes are simply obtained by dividing the performance of my hotel by the performance of my competitive set. Now let's go back to the same section of the monthly report. We just reviewed my property performance for the month of September. But the STAR report extends this comparison over the last 18 months. Then each index for occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR is in turn summarized in a line chart. The dotted black line helps me to identify months when I overperformed my competitive set. On the same section of the report, a percent change table allows a quick review of my hotel performance versus the previous year, and this over the last 18 months. Now let's take a look on how the STAR report extends these time references for the same indicators. The report proposes 3 new time references: year to date, running 3, and running 12 months. This review is available over the last 3 years for our 3 standard key performance indicators: occupancy, average daily rate, and RevPAR. Now let's move on to another section of the monthly report by reviewing the section called Industry. As you can see, it looks pretty similar as the page we just reviewed. Well, actually it is almost the same review, but instead of comparing my hotel versus my competitors, this section compares my hotel versus the overall market. As mentioned earlier, this section of the report is totally free of charge. In our last example, another section of the report called Day of Week extends the comparison for occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR from Monday to Sunday, which in turn is available for the current month, year to date, running 3, and running 12 months. Thank you for following this introduction to the STAR report. Please find our contact information for questions and inquiries.